Have you ever had one of those moments online? You're scrolling, maybe a little mindlessly, and then a headline stops you cold. Your heart just drops. Because you read a name you know, attached to a word that carries the ultimate, final weight. The word death. And in that split second, before you even click, your brain tries to make sense of the unimaginable. That's exactly what happened to thousands, maybe millions, of people recently, when the name Jackson Roloff began trending alongside phrases like shocking death and Zack and Tori. The collective gasp was almost audible. Because Jackson, the sweet, funny, incredibly beloved little boy from TLC's Little People, Big World, is the heart of his family. He is Zack and Tori Roloff's firstborn. Their sunshine. To even whisper the idea of a tragedy involving him felt like a violation of a universal contract, the one that says these families we invite into our homes through our screens should be shielded from the darkest storms. But here's the twist, the crucial pivot in this emotional whirlwind. Take a deep breath. Jackson Roloff is alive. He is healthy. He is, by all accounts, a happy and thriving little boy. There was no death. There was no tragedy. What there was a terrifying, malicious, and unfortunately common digital poison, an online death hoax. And the shockwaves it sent through the Roloff family's world, and through their fanbase, reveal something profound and deeply unsettling about our modern relationship with fame, with family, and with the truth itself. So tonight, we're not just debunking a rumor. We're diving into the anatomy of a hoax. We're exploring why a family like the Roloffs might be targeted, what it's like to have to publicly confirm your child is alive, and the emotional toll these vicious cycles take. This is a story about the collision of a beloved reality TV legacy, the relentless hunger of the internet, and a parent's worst fear made into a viral meme. Part 1. The Roloff Legacy, a family in the public eye. To understand the magnitude of this hoax, we have to understand the Roloffs. They are not just another reality TV family. For over 2 decades, Little People, Big World has been a pioneering show on TLC. It didn't start as dramatic spectacle, it started as a window. A window into the life of the Roloff family, headed by Matt and Amy, both of whom have achondroplasia, a common form of dwarfism. The show documented the everyday realities, challenges, and immense joys of their lives on the sprawling Roloff farms in Oregon. More importantly, it documented their children growing up. Twins Jeremy and Zack, who also has achondroplasia, daughter Molly, and younger brother Jacob. The audience watched them navigate childhood, adolescence, dating, marriage. We saw the complexities of family business, marital strife, and ultimately, Amy and Matt's divorce. The show became a fixture, a comfort watch for many, normalizing the experience of Little People for a vast audience in a way few other media ever had. And then, a new generation emerged. The grandchildren. And perhaps none captured the public's heart quite like Jackson Roloff. Born in 2017 to Zack and his wife Tori, a former teacher who does not have dwarfism, Jackson's arrival was a major storyline. The audience watched the anxious wait for a diagnosis, the confirmation that Jackson had indeed inherited achondroplasia from his father and grandparents. We saw Zack and Tori's beautiful, loving adjustment to parenthood, their commitment to advocating for their son. Jackson, with his bright eyes, infectious laugh, and palpable curiosity, became an instant fan favorite. He was a bridge, the next chapter of the Roloff story. Fans watched him learn to navigate a world scaled for average-sized people, saw his bond with his father deepen over their shared experience, and celebrated the arrivals of his siblings, Lila and Josiah. The Roloffs, for all their televised ups and downs, felt real. And in that reality, viewers built a parasocial relationship, a one-sided feeling of connection and intimacy. We feel we know them. And that feeling is the fertile ground where hoaxes take root. Part 2. The anatomy of a hoax, how the lie spreads. So, how does a lie about a child's death go from a dark corner of the internet to trending on social media? It's a frighteningly efficient process. Step 1. The genesis in the shadows. It often starts in the murkier parts of the web, obscure forums, troll boards, or even AI-generated clickbait news sites with no editorial standards. Someone, for reasons ranging from sheer malice to a twisted desire for attention, creates the false narrative. A post is crafted, R.I.P. Jackson Roloff. Tragic accident claims life of little people, big world star. Sometimes, they're bare bones. Sometimes, they're elaborately detailed, inventing car crashes, freak accidents, or sudden illnesses. The key ingredient is emotional dynamite. Step 2. The social media amplification. This is where the hoax gains lethal momentum. The false post is screenshot. That screenshot is then shared on platforms like X, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, often with captions designed to trigger panic and engagement. OMG, is this true? Pray for Zach and Tori. I'm absolutely devastated, say it isn't so. The use of shocked emojis, broken hearts, and RIP messages creates a visual avalanche of grief. People don't always stop to verify, they react. They quote tweet, they share to their stories, they comment asking for updates. The algorithm, indifferent to truth, sees massive engagement and pushes the content further. It becomes a self-feeding fire. The legend were stunned, "Are you kidding me?" Not once, but repeatedly. "Are you kidding me?" This was the hook. The twist. The unbelievable reveal. The second baby, a beautiful, healthy baby girl, was there. Lila no longer the baby sister, but a big sister twice over. This was not a twin pregnancy they had missed. This was a medical phenomenon so rare it feels like folklore, a hidden twin. In medical terms, it's sometimes called a cryptic twin, where one twin is obscured in early ultrasounds, perhaps hidden behind the other. For it to happen in an age of advanced prenatal care, with multiple scans, is extraordinarily uncommon. The shock wasn't just numerical. It was genetic, emotional, and logistical. First, the genetic lottery. Now, with 2 new babies, the question everyone was thinking: what were their statures? Josiah, the firstborn, was quickly confirmed to be an average height child. A new dynamic for Tori and Zach, a son who would literally look down at his parents and his older siblings one day. And then, the second twin, a daughter they named Matiah June Roloff. The revelation about Matiah's stature did not come immediately. Tori and Zach, perhaps overwhelmed, kept that detail private for a few weeks. When they revealed it, it added another profound layer to the shock. Matiah, like her big brothers Jackson and Lila, has achondroplasia. Let's absorb that. 1 pregnancy. 2 babies. 1 average height. 1 little person. In a single moment, Tori and Zach's family, which already beautifully represented both sides of the dwarfism experience, became a perfect, living microcosm of it. They now had 3 children with achondroplasia, Jackson, Lila, Matiah, and 2 average height children, their newborn Josiah, and by family extension, their journey of parenting each type of child was now fully mirrored in a single birth event. The shockwaves through the Roloff family were instantaneous and profound. Picture Amy Roloff, the grandmother, getting the call. She knew it was the birthday. She was waiting for the news of 1 grandchild. The phone rings. It's Zach, voice trembling, unsure if he's laughing or crying. "It's a boy." Amy celebrates. Then the pause. "And, it's a girl." Amy's reported reaction was disbelief. "What do you mean and?" The processing takes minutes. 1 becomes 2. Matt Roloff, the pragmatic planner, the grandfather, was reportedly utterly flabbergasted. This was a plot twist even the master of farm renovations couldn't have engineered. Jeremy Roloff, Zach's twin, became an uncle to twins in the most shocking way possible. The twin bond he shared with Zach now had a wild, new echo in the next generation. And for Zach, the twin father, the emotional processing was deep and public. He spoke later about the trauma of the surprise. Not a bad trauma, but the psychological whiplash of having your reality so utterly upended in a vulnerable, high-stakes moment. He had to grieve the expectation of 1 child to immediately embrace 2. He talked about the fear, not of the babies, but of providing, of being enough, of managing the sheer physical and emotional workload. The "how will we do this?" that every parent of multiples feels, but compressed into a single, breathless minute. Then, there was Tori. Her shock was different. Under medication, in the midst of surgery, her processing was delayed. But then came the reality. double the feedings, double the diapers, double the sleepless nights. Her body had carried 2 babies to term without anyone knowing. The physical toll was immense. Her recovery, her mental load, was instantly doubled. She has spoken candidly about the intense, overwhelming struggle of the newborn twin phase, calling it survival mode, a blur of exhaustion and guilt over splitting her attention among 4 small children. But within the shock, a beautiful narrative began to emerge. The story of the twins became a metaphor for life itself, unpredictable, challenging, but overflowing with doubled love. Josiah and Micaiah, J and J, or the Twingles as fans call them, represent a perfect balance. They are yin and yang. Josiah, the average height brother, will have a unique life experience in his family. Micaiah, the little person sister, has immediate built-in mentors in Jackson and Lila. The family's dynamic was transformed overnight. Jackson, the protective big brother, now had 2 babies to watch over. Lila was promoted from baby to big sister in a flash. The farmhouse that once echoed with the adventures of 4 Roloff kids was now bursting with the chaos and joy of the next generation. The public's reaction was a mirror of the family's. Initial jaw-dropped shock, then an outpouring of support, then a deep fascination with the twins' development. Fans watched as Tori and Zach navigated the unique challenges, comparing Micaiah's growth charts to Lila's, celebrating Josiah's height milestones, managing the different medical appointments, neurology for Micaiah, standard pediatrics for Josiah. It was a masterclass in parenting children with different needs, all while being in the public eye. This event also sparked broader conversations. Conversations about genetics, about the assumption that technology sees all, about the beautiful randomness of life. It highlighted the realities of dwarfism in a new way, showing that within a single family, and even within a single birth, the human experience comes in all sizes, all with equal value and potential for joy. The shock of the twin birth wasn't just a one-day news story. It was the first page of a new, epic volume for the Roloffs. It tested Tori and Zach's marriage in the fire of sleep deprivation and multiplied stress, and they came out speaking openly about the hard times, stronger for it. It redefined Zach's identity from son, father, to father of 5, a man who had to rapidly expand his capacity for patience, logistics, and love. As the twins grow, now toddlers, into their own personalities, the shocking beginning is softening into their origin story. Josiah, often seen with a mischievous smile, is the sturdy, adventurous counterpart to Micaiah, who, with the spunk and determination her family is known for, is keeping up with her brothers every step of the way, albeit on her own path. So, when we look back at that definitive moment, the phone call, the stunned "Are you kidding me?" we're not just looking at a surprising birth announcement. We're looking at the moment the Roloff story exploded into a new, more complex, and more beautiful constellation. It was a reminder that life doesn't follow our scripts. The best stories never do. Sometimes, the greatest gifts are the ones you never see coming, even when you're looking right at the ultrasound. It was a shock that resonated because it was more than just a surprise twin birth. It was a shock of destiny, a shock of expanded love, a shock that forced a public family to confront the ultimate private miracle in the most dramatic way imaginable. And in the end, the twist wasn't just a hook for a story. It was the foundation of a new legacy for the Roloffs, built on a secret that even they didn't know they were carrying. From the farm in Hillsborough to your ears today, that's the incredible, true, and ongoing story of how Tori and